Hello, and welcome back to Jacqueline Marie's Art. And today I wanted to talk about why fathers are important. So I just want to ask you guys if you are enjoying the content, I ask you to please like, subscribe, and share. Okay, so let's get into this. Why are fathers so important? So let's just get this out of the way. Both parents are extremely important, okay? None is more important than the other because they come together and complement each other. But today we're going to speak basically on why fathers are so important because we know that, usually when a relationship breaks, the kids usually go with the mom, and she kind of sometimes fall into the role of mom and dad. But today we're going to be looking at why dads are so important. Okay, so fathers are important, especially when children are really young, when they're at their most impressionable. So they're important in a girl's life. Let's talk about that first. Your father can help you to develop the proper self-esteem that you need, because as you grow, you're very impressionable to peer pressure, things you see in the media, things you see on TV, which is also media. So your father could help you develop the proper self-esteem as a young lady so that you do not go out there and seek validation from the wrong men. What are the wrong men? Any man that's not your husband that you are thinking about giving your body to or has given your body to. So a father could help you decide, to wait till marriage. Your father can help you have so much self-esteem that you don't feel the need, or the pressure to give into young men or even older men, because a lot of older men, believe it or not, date young girls that they're not supposed to be dating. You won't feel pressured into giving up yourself to any of these men because you need, validation from them, or because you are looking for a father figure. When you have a father in your life, the correct type of father, he will instill in you that you should wait. You're my beautiful, lovely daughter that I love and cherish, and you're going to wait, until the correct man comes along, which is a guy that will date you, um, value you, and wait to have sex with you on your wedding night. When you grow up, a lot of times in a broken home as a young lady, you could unfortunately fall into the trap of going off into sexual relationships way too early, way before your time, and it could end badly for you. It could lead you into early pregnancy. A lot of pregnancies are not wanted that are had outside of marriage. They're just, because unfortunately the baby comes when the parents are not prepared. If you're too young, you're still developing, mentally, you're still developing financially, you're still developing on a whole. You're just not ready for that responsibility because you can't even be responsible for yourself. Like if you get pregnant, you don't have the money to, the financial means to go out there and get an apartment, be on your own, plus take care of yourself, all those other responsibilities like rent and bills, and plus the baby. So a baby like that more than likely won't be wanted, or if it is wanted, it's, unfortunately repeating a cycle of growing up in a broken home, which is not good for you as a young lady. So the proper dad is going to let you know that that stuff can wait. You need to get your education or a skill, something that will set you up for life, that you could properly take care of yourself, and that you will date at the proper time, which is around, I personally think, between 18 and 21. You could start dating, just dating, going out, which is like a low-key interview to see if you and this guy are compatible, and if he's husband material, without giving up anything. The correct father will make sure that, the correct dad will make sure that he instills some godly values in you, even if he himself is not a follower of God, but he believes, what God says. So he'll instill some godly values in you, that it's best for a young lady to wait to meet her husband and sleep with him on her wedding night. That, a young lady should put herself first. You understand? Not that you're selfish with your husband or anything. It's just that when it comes to relationship, you put yourself first. You're not giving up yourself to please any man, to make a man happy. In this instance, you're putting yourself first. The correct father will, tell you that you're special, that you're beautiful, that you are, you could do it, whatever you set your mind to, within reason, because we really can't do anything we want, but, certain things are attainable. So he will let you know that, if this is a reasonable goal and if it will benefit you, he will support you and push you towards it. And after a while, you can achieve it, So this is what the correct dad does. What is the correct dad, you say? Well, somebody that's married to your mother. That's what I would say. I'm not saying that guys who are not married to your mother or who are single dads are not good dads. It's just that the correct pattern for you as a young lady, especially a young black lady, is to have a father that is married to your mother. I single out black ladies because the black community has a high level of out of wedlock births, and it's affecting everyone in a very negative way. So that's why I'm particularly saying black girls. So that's what the correct dad is, one that's dedicated to his mother, one that's capable of being with one woman, that's modeling marriage in front of you, that's modeling responsibility, because the father is the head of the household, and the children and the wife is to listen to or follow the father, who is a good leader. But a wife or a woman cannot follow a man who is incapable of leading, because you could be led off of a cliff. He'll be a leader, that you could look up to. You see how he treats your mom. He's respectable, he's responsible, he goes to work, he comes home, he makes time for you, and he lets you know how special you are. He doesn't spoil you, because I don't recommend spoiling, but he takes good care of you, and he encourages you, and he helps to build your self-esteem, and he gives you projects to do that will help to make you independent and responsible without spoiling you. You understand? Without spoiling you, he treats you well. So this is the correct dad for you. So what's the correct dad in a young man's life, who is also very impressionable? So in a young man's life, again, I'm going to single out a young black man, a young black teen, or a young black boy growing up. The correct dad for you, young man, is a father that again, doesn't spoil you. He gives you projects to do. He let you earn money that he gives you. This is all building you up for responsibility. When you are wrong, he doesn't always bail you out, but he helps you find a solution to get out of what you have gotten into. He helped to encourage your self-esteem. He lets you know that you're special, that he loves you, that he's there for you, and he supports you. If you have ball games, he comes to them. If you want to go fishing, he goes with you. Or he takes you fishing with him, because most kids will not be thinking about fishing. So, if you want to go to the movies, he goes with you. You want to go shopping, he goes with you. This also for the girl too. You could take you shopping. So, he lets you know that you are special, that you could do it. He sees to it that you get an education or a skill. He does all of this for you, but he doesn't spoil you. Spoiling is not recommended for any child, because it makes them ungrateful. But once, you give them challenges and let them know that they're loved and that you back them, they have your full support, they won't be spoiled. They come to appreciate, respect, and love the parent. So that's a good dad for you. This is also a good dad for a young black man, is one that keeps you out of sex before marriage. Too often it is told to young men that, sleep with as much women as you want. Get it all out before you get married at 50. This is the black community again. You know, everybody wants to sleep around from 15 to 50, then get married. No, your father will instill in you to stay out of sex before marriage. Between 18 and 21, you start to date, but you're also focusing on your studies or your trade that you are getting, so that you can become independent, and that when you go off on your own, you could take care of yourself. And he's also married to your mom, and you see how he treats your mom, and he is the head of your household, and he's the leader of your household. You understand? You could look up to him. He's modeling marriage to you. And you could look up to him. You could see how he treats your mom. He takes care of all the responsibilities are on him. Your mom helps out too, but he is the head. Everyone listens to and respects him. The wife respects him. She listens to him. You, the children, listen to him and respect him. And he instills godly qualities in you. What are godly qualities? You do not get into sex before marriage. I know this is the unpopular way of doing things, but as a young man or a young lady coming up in the world, if you follow this blueprint, you will not regret this. You date. Do not fool around in any way, shape, or form. You just interview each other. You go out, you have a nice time. When the time is right, the Lord, with the help of your father, will bring you together with your correct mate, and you could marry. You could marry at 22, 23, 25 is even better, because by then you'll have your skill. By then you will have an education, because it takes about 4 or 5 years for you to get your education, or whatever. Or if not, you don't get a college degree, you get a trade. That is also very profitable, and by then you are secure. You and your wife are secure, and you could go off together, marry, have a small wedding with your parents, and you don't need anything big just starting out. You need to spend a lot of money, and you go off and have all the sex that you want. I guarantee with everything in my body that you will have the best sex ever. You'll have the best relationship ever. You'll have the best marriage ever. You'll have the best kids ever. Because why? This is doing it God's way, which is the unpopular way in the world. And you're with the help of the correct father in your life, he could set you up for, to have a blissful life. Listen, we live in a world where nothing's perfect. Happiness is hard to contain. But doing it this way, having this kind of father that instills this way in you, you will win. You will win at life. This is the winning recipe, I think, for young people. So, this father, together with the support of your mother, could lead you down this path. This is the path you want to go down. And this is what, the correct father will do, and the mother will support him. So they come together in that union of marriage that they're in, and they support you. By after a few years, you graduate or you get your certificate in your trade, and you're set. You could start a nice job making really good money, depending on where you live. You could, buy a cheap house, a nice little fixer-upper, or, you could start off like that. That's a really nice way to start off. You have your wife. Finally, I could have sex. Yes, your wedding night, young man, young woman, and it will be the most beautiful time ever, okay? So this is what, the correct father does. This is the direction he leads you in. If unfortunately you do not have the correct father, your father is not around, unfortunately, let's just go out on a deep end. He's in prison. Let's just say he died before his time, because these are all the calamities that befall, people in broken relationships, people living outside on the extreme and living on the edge, way outside of God's parameters for our blessings. People who are just, They just can't be a father. Unfortunately, they have a drug problem. Whatever the reason may be, they just not around. They left with another woman. They don't want anything to do with you. Seek the face of the Lord. Reach out to him, pray, ask for guidance, because besides our earthly parents, who a lot of times unfortunately can fail us, because a lot of us get it wrong from the start. We start having sex way before we're married, and we go down that dark path of sadness and disappointment. So they can't really be there for you in the correct way, because that lifestyle of early sex before marriage lead to broken people. You seek the help of the Heavenly Father. That's a substitute father. When we don't have the correct parents, mother or father in our lives, you seek the face of the Lord. You go before the Lord and you ask him for help, and he will guide you, and he will lead you down the path of righteousness for his name's sake. That's from a Bible verse. I think it's the 23rd Psalms. So you do that, and you have a good father in your life, whether he's married to your mother or not, and he's doing these things. Young man, young woman, you honor this father. You respect, love him, and show him appreciation. And your life will be the better for it. All right, so that's the importance of fathers. A father is a leader, someone we could follow, someone we could look up to, a responsible person that takes care of his household, that's in charge of his household, that the mother and that his wife and his children can lean on in tough times, in good times, that they could depend on. You understand? He is a responsible man. All right? So this is it. And I hope more, Black children end up in homes that are not broken, that are not out of wedlock. All right, young man, young woman. So this is the importance of a father. So guys, remember, I'm asking you to like, subscribe, share if you enjoy the content. And thank you for tuning in to Jacqueline Marie's Art. Talk to you soon in the next video. Bye.